where were you during the war, and how did you survive?
First of all, we lived in a city which was called Szarvas, which was about 300 kilometers south of Budapest. And in beginning of 1944, we have been transported to the ghetto in Budapest. And I was actually with my mother and my two sisters and my brother. We were on the last transport from Budapest to Auschwitz. Luckily, when the train left Budapest and got to the border of Poland, the train couldn't continue because the Russians bombarded the railroad. And we have been, the train, actually what I wanted, to the right it was Poland, Auschwitz, and to the left it was Austria. So we have been transported to Vienna, I mean, or next to the suburb of Vienna, to a place which is called Razdorf, which was a concentration camp, but most of the people in the camp were working in all kind of factories. There are two different factories: the factory of munitions and a factory of food conserves. So, and I was 4 years old.
4 years old.
Yeah,
okay.
I was actually not exact 4, a little bit before. And we have been there until, I believe, in June 45, which the camp was liberated again by the Russian troops.
Where were you on January 27th?
We were in the camp in Razdorf next to Vienna, and we have been liberated by the Russian army.
Got it. Okay. So, part of my story is going to be about how, as we approach this Holocaust Remembrance Day, there's been an increase in anti-Semitic incidents. Every time you hear about one of them, whether it's Texas or even in your own neighborhood, what are you thinking? How does that make you feel?
I would say that I think here we are again. I feel quite safe in the United States. I'm sure that the United States is doing everything possible to fight anti-Semitism. I think definitely the United States is doing much more than Western Europe. I don't think that we will have another Holocaust, but it's quite dangerous, and I feel definitely uncomfortable going out to synagogue, going out with a yarmulke on the street. But I have to say that I personally, or any member of my close family, we didn't encounter any anti-Semitism.
In recent times.
In recent times.
Right.
In recent times. When it comes back to the Shoah, as I said, I don't remember much. So I cannot tell you how it was there. I know from my siblings that in the last week before the liberation, when the Russian troops were very close, there was a group of SS soldiers who came in, and people had to dig their own graves. But I didn't see it. I was a little child, so I don't remember that. I know it from the stories which I have been said. I don't think that it came to shooting the people, because the commandant of the camp, who was later recognized as I don't know what they call it, you know, for the people who were from those camps, who were pretty human.
Mm-hmm.
And he was trialed, and in the trial he got a very low sentence because the people from our city came to testify in his behalf that he behaved plus minus humanly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what is my remembrance. And I have been actually in 46, beginning of 40, in 44, I have been transported by the Red Cross to Switzerland, which was what they call the children transport. And my first memory is being as a 5 years old, or 5.5 years old, being in the train station in Budapest. That's my really, because I was there with my sister who took me there, who passed away some years ago. But I don't remember how it was there. For sure I didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
I know, again from stories, my grandmother from my father's side was also with us, and she didn't have to work. She was already an elderly woman, and she took care of me. So I lost my father in the war. I don't remember him at all. He was, in 1942, he was taken to labor camp. We have testimony later by some survivor who saw that my father was shot by the Germans. He was on the march to Russia, and whoever couldn't march was shot. I still have one sister who lives in Israel, who is 96 years old. I made Aliyah to Israel in 48, together with a group of children. We were in Switzerland, in Davos. We were there in a sanatorium of children who survived the war. And after my military service in the Israeli army, I emigrated, I left from Israel to Belgium. Mm-hmm. My mother got remarried in Belgium, and it's a long story why I had left, but I was a commanding officer in the Israeli army, and I was a couple of times wounded, and my mother pushed me and said, "You have to come to us. You cannot play anymore with your life." Mm. And there I met my lovely wife, and we are now going to celebrate this year our 55th of marriage, 55th year of marriage.